Welcome to the Business Spotlight podcast. My name is Kay Cote, and I'm your host for today's episode. Today on the show, I have Patrick Roney, founder and CEO of ProLedge, as my guest. We're going to be learning about him and his business, his journey to business ownership, best practices, and challenges that he's faced to give you that inside look to what it's like to operate a business. Welcome, Patrick. It's so great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, well, before we dive into all things business, I would love to share with the audience a little bit about you. So take us back as far as you'd like and share a bit about yourself.
Okay. Like originally went to UT this many years ago, of course, and then when I decided to go into kind of the financial world, prior to ProLedge, we had a CPA and bookkeeping firm that I had with a business partner that we worked on developing accounting software related things, and we had investors with that company. And then the tech crash happened, and a lot of the investors pulled out. So that company got put on, the burner for then. One of the technologies we were developing that we had a patent pending, American Express now uses. So it would have been nice if we would have kept our funding, but we didn't get that, so we couldn't finish the patent where it was actually a patent. So that's kind of the background of where it came from. After that, I did marketing for a lot of the large CPA firms across the country. And then I met up with my most recent business partner, and ProLedge was founded to provide bookkeeping services for medium and small sized businesses throughout mainly Texas, well, exclusively Texas at that point, although we did get some clients outside of Texas that were referral clients. But that was the main focus, and we did that from 2008 to 2012. And then some of the technology things we were doing before, it became cheaper to outsource those, and that's the main thing my business partner did. So he approached me to buy him out because he didn't have anything left to do, according to him. And so I did, and since then I've been the principal of the company with a direct business partner that was a founder. We do have now we're up to 32 employees, and we've recently started our most recent offices in Florida. So we're working to expand the company to a second state.
Oh, wow. Congrats on the expansion. Okay,
Thanks.
so yeah, this is really cool. So are you still, okay, so you said 32 employees right now?
Correct.
Okay, now, are there any other owners involved? Is it just you? Do you have a board of directors, anything like that?
Just me as the primary owner. I do, like I said, I have a vice president
Mhm.
now that has profit sharing within the company, and other people in a little bit more senior roles than some of the other employees. But I'm, primarily the president and owner. We don't have any outside investors in this company.
Okay, wonderful. Now you're looking at your expansion. So, you're still working with this, you said small to mid-sized CPA firms, is that correct?
No, no, businesses in general.
Businesses in general.
Although we do some back office stuff for some of the CPA firms, and kind of provide services for them in the background.
Okay, wonderful. Are there any industries you have like as an ideal client, or are you across a lot of different industries?
We're pretty much across the board. We have clients in almost every industry. There are a few out there that, like, we don't do a lot of governmental clients or things like that, although we do provide accounting services for some water boards and things like that that are for smaller communities, where we do all their accounting and keep track of everything for them.
Okay, okay, wonderful. Now, let's dive into kind of the marketing behind how you're finding your clients. What has been your marketing strategies that have worked for you?
The primary and best marketing strategy is word of mouth, clients referring other clients, just like any business. Those are going to be the highest probable conversions to become clients because they were referred by someone that they know. So that's primary. We also do a lot of where people can find us online, including search engine optimization, things like that. And now we're starting to incorporate AI as that becomes more prevalent in searches where we're going to position ourselves as an expert on certain topics where AI will pull us up when people ask questions into things like ChatGPT and things like that.
Okay, wonderful. Now, I'm curious to what your day-to-day looks like as, the CEO and founder. So, are you primarily working in the business, or are you more on the business, or is it a lot of both?
On the business, and I do most of the business development myself. So as opposed to hiring a bunch of what I would call salespeople, I'm more of the salesperson for my company. The actual work for the clients is primarily done by those 32 employees. So I'm more working on expanding the business and the business in general than working in the business where my time is billable to clients.
Okay.
The one thing that is a disadvantage to that is I have a tendency to jump in and do things for clients and not bill them for my time, but I guess that's good for them.
So tell me now, do you have an office? Are all of your employees in office, or do you have like a hybrid situation?
We have a hybrid situation. We do have five, well, now six actual offices, but most of my employees do not actually work in those offices any longer. Since the pandemic, it just started making no sense for me to have people driving into an office to do the same thing they could do in the same way they did during the pandemic when they couldn't go into the office anyway, during that time. And it seemed to work well and gave for a better employee morale because no one likes sitting in traffic, especially rush hour traffic in any of the cities like Houston, where I have an office, or Dallas, where I have an office, or even here in Austin, where I personally live just outside of Austin.
Hmm. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. And so now let's talk about your team. Do you notice any emerging leaders on your team? And how is your team like company culture?
The company culture, most, I would say all, but some even more than others of our clients like really helping businesses and feeling like they accomplish something throughout their day to help someone else. So that's kind of the vision behind the company. Now, I do find that a lot of our employees we've had for quite a while. Employees do not tend to leave. And that, I mean, that's a good thing when we do have employees that have retired, especially more recently, and they're becoming harder and harder to replace. Because we're looking for the same culture for the person that really wants to help other people out as opposed to just doing things for just a job.
Hmm. Hmm. And now let's talk about recruiting. So as you're noticing some team members getting ready to retire, how do you plan to recruit for future employees?
Now, the good thing is with our hybrid business model, anytime we post a position, we get more applicants than I could even come close to looking at. So we do have a pretty big pool of people to choose from. At the same time, it's finding the person that is going to be a long-term player within the company. More and more so today, I find people are looking for jobs as stepping stones to other jobs or jumping at the first offer where they get paid, a couple more dollars than used to be the case. But we do find the right people that it just may take a few along the way that were more short-term employees. We try to avoid those, but people can tell you whatever they want.
Yeah. So like, what is your hiring process like?
Well, they go, once we decide through all the screenings and stuff, like it's somebody we actually want to talk to, then there's generally, they will talk to a couple of other people within the company, including my vice president, before they talk to me. I generally do the final interview with the couple of candidates that were down to, hey, there's two people left. Let's figure out which one to do, which one to make the offer to. And that's primarily there. Now we'll only hire people that are experienced and are qualified and like are a good fit for us. Otherwise, we wouldn't even interview them in the first place.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So there's some multiple steps there for hiring.
Correct.
So yeah, let's kind of like talk about vision for the company. So you've been building for quite a few years. Now, where do you see your company going in the next 3 to 5 years?
Well, the first step is to, now that we've expanded our first office in Florida, is for to prove that one can be a successful office and then open up other offices in Florida and prove that the concept works outside of Texas just as well as it does within Texas. And then, once we do that, we could potentially look at taking the company national. But one step at a time. First, we got to get to where we need to be in Florida before that happens.
Okay. Well,
Uh,
tell me about Florida. What are your kind of like what are you working on there? Are you like are you building out an office? Are you in the office or like kind of what's your Florida look like for the next 12 months?
for the next 12 months, probably well, 12 months, we're in April. The goal would be to start our second Florida office before the end of this next coming year. That way, it's good to go for January. We find that the beginning of the year, within the type of work we do, that's the most common time for new clients to come in is at the beginning of the year as they start to think about taxes or making a change. It's just a time that tends to work well. And so that would be the goal there in the short term within the next year. And of course, building up the office to where it needs to be. Now, one thing you did ask that I realized I didn't answer is we have an office there, but we're not building it ourselves or anything. We're just leasing an office.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So that's moving along and now looking at challenges. So if you have a lot going on, you have new offices, you have maintaining the offices you're already running. As a business owner, there's a lot of hats. So what is something you're challenged with lately and how are you working through it?
Well, one of the challenges has been is that we're completely self-funded. We don't take on any debt or outside investors.
Mhm.
So that may have been why we haven't done something like expanding to Florida before until we were ready to do that. And so that, just though overall cash flow and things like that is, of course, always a challenge. And then just as I mentioned, with a lot of our employees being long-term employees and starting to get to the age where they're thinking about possibly retiring, it's replacing those people with the right people that continues to build on the culture that we've established.
Definitely, definitely. So funding, is that something, are you looking to grow your client base, look at marketing? How are you working through the funding to grow?
Well, luckily, we waited until we had the ability to start, kick off a new state where there were resources available to make that happen initially. And then, of course, now we have to get it to the point where it's completely self-sufficient, carrying itself so we can continue to expand.
Definitely. Now, how are you, now that you're in a new state, How are you growing your client base? And is it and the same marketing as you're doing here in Texas, or are you looking at different strategies to get like kind of up and going?
Primarily the same sources, although the main one that I was saying was our most effective one, which is word of mouth and referrals. That's a little harder when you have just a small handful of clients because it's a brand new office. So that takes a while for that momentum to start building. So we're relying on all our other resources where people actually find us. They are searching for services that we provide, and then they reach out and either contact us or ask us to contact them.
Okay, okay, wonderful. So you're getting everything going with Florida. So that's incredible. Now I want to take us through a series of rapid fire questions where I'll be asking you four questions and you answer
Okay.
very top of mind.
Okay.
All right, question number one is what is a key to success for you?
Key to success is like feeling like business owners have a better understanding of using their financials to be able to actually run and improve their business. If I feel like I've done that at the end of the day, I think that makes me successful because it makes me feel really good that I've helped people out on the same journey that I started a long time ago.
Definitely. That's a good one. That's very true. Second question is what is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
It kind of goes on the same way. Actually, learn to understand your financials. You would be surprised how many successful business people you could hand them a balance sheet and they can't tell you what half the stuff on it actually means and really understand it. And they definitely don't use it. They once a month they may pick up their profit and loss statement. Oh, looks good, but they're not really looking at their balance sheet when that's really the backbone of the business
Mhm.
and where you can like figure out more long-term planning things by actually using your balance sheet.
Oh, yeah, that's very true. That's a really good point. Number three, this is kind of a fun one.
All
What
right.
is, it could be a book, a podcast, an article, just anything that's resonated with you recently.
Recently. Let's see. I've been pretty focused. So, to be honest, and I know that goes kind of against this, but I really don't watch a lot of podcasts. I do occasionally. I have gotten a lot better at shutting off work when I shut off work because I used to be very extremely bad with that, that I never stopped working being a business owner with a bunch of offices. Still to this day, I answer my cell phone and give it to every client that's a client of my company. So I try to shut that down a little bit. It's funny, I should have prepared for that question a little more. I don't really have the best
That's
answer.
okay.
I'd have to think about it.
No, that's a really good point. Like even just like that reality of saying I'm going to close the door and I'm taking the night and this is my time. I think that's a really solid uh thought for business owners to do. So thank you for sharing that. And the final question. Now, this is a really fun one. So if I handed you a magic wand and you had the ability to rapidly improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
It would be the billing adequately for all these services that we provide. And what I mean by that is there are some things that I do to help business owners that would be very expensive for them to get anywhere else. I have a tendency not to bill them at all for that. And the same thing I think with a lot of my staff, and we do have to get better at that because I think people will pay for value.
Definitely, definitely. Well, thank you for sharing that. Oh, this has been such a great conversation. So before we wrap up with our final question of the day, how can people get connected with you and your business?
Okay, our website's the first place. It's www.proledge, PROLED, like dog, GE.com. So pro ledger without the R. And the so all our contact information is going to be on there. They can reach out to me directly through there, and I will be glad to answer any questions they have. And also, if there's anybody that is looking for help with their business, we should be able to provide that. So feel free to reach out.
Wonderful. Thank you, Patrick, for the final question of the day. What is most inspiring to you today?
Most inspiring to me today is just making it, it really is making sure that the people that I care about are given all the opportunities they have coming to them and know they can count on me for support, whatever they needed.
Oh, wonderful. Well, this is a very inspiring episode. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me.